Hey everybody, and welcome to a video of a product that is blowing people's minds. Or should I really say, folding people's minds. Today I have with me the Samsung Z Fold 3 in Phantom Green. This is a 256GB model. First impressions of this phone, this thing is sturdy. It is a completely different feeling from the previous generation. The back of the phone is a matte finish of the Phantom Green, making it fingerprint resistant. The hinge has a gloss finish continuing the Phantom Green color, along with the Samsung logo stamped in the middle of it. On the right hand side of the phone, you have your volume buttons as well as your lock button with the built-in fingerprint sensor. If you were wanting to turn off your phone, you simply press the lower volume and lock button at the same time. And if you wanted to access Bixby, you press and hold the lock button. But let's be honest, nobody uses Bixby. Storage options include a 128, 256, and 512GB option. There's a 4400 mAh battery, Snapdragon 888 processor, and its newest exciting feature for a lot of people is its S Pen compatibility with the newly designed S Pen. The front screen is a 6.2 inch with a built-in screen protector out of the box. However, after a day in the pocket, the screen protector for this one started to bubble and was removed. The screen also has a 120Hz refresh rate with a dynamic AMOLED 2x display, which allows to see better during the day while outdoors. Something that really impresses me with the Samsung foldable phones is you can still utilize widgets and having multitasking pages on these phones. You simply unlock the phone, press and hold on the page, swipe through, and you can edit your pages, as well as even adding widgets with the same menu that you see on the normal phones. Wow, look at that refresh rate though. It is so crisp. There is a camera lens on the front screen that is 10 megapixels. Now, although the front screen is impressive, the real magic happens when you open up to the main screen and go into tablet mode. When in tablet mode, the Samsung Z Fold 3 has a 7.6-inch screen. Compared to the size of an iPad mini, it is nearly the same size as the active screen minus the bezels, which is pretty incredible. The main screen also has a 120Hz refresh rate. According to Samsung, using EcoSquare allows for the screen to be a 29% brighter display and more efficient with battery life, allowing you to use your main screen for longer. Something I did notice about the Z Fold 3 when I got it in my hands is that the crease is still noticeable within the hinge. When I drop down the menu, right down the middle, you can see where that crease line is. However, if you are in dark mode, it is less noticeable. Samsung has also created the first under-display camera on a foldable phone by using a minimum amount of pixels to cover the lens. I appreciate Samsung's approach in doing this to make the tablet experience more enjoyable. However, it can be one of those things where once you notice it, you can't help but look for it. When you are video calling, taking a picture, or using facial recognition, the camera becomes visible. This happens whenever you select any app that utilizes the camera. The pixels will disappear and a white ring will circulate around the lens. The main screen contains a 4 megapixel camera, so not the best if you pitch the phone up like so if you're doing a video call. If pixel quality for video calls is important to you, this is something to consider as we are now able to use webcams in 4K. The Z Fold 3 has multi-dimensional sound with spatial effects inside the speakers.
Trying hard to keep my cool, but when you're near, there's nothing that I can do. When you're walking in, I know it's true.
Samsung has also improved how apps are utilized on the main screen. Instead of menus covering your view, it becomes part of the experience like it does on tablets. Here's an example with calendars. Before, it used to be where the taskbar would cover the calendar. Now, it is alongside it where you can multitask. You can add apps to your taskbar for quick access, as well as multitasking. Now, with the Z Fold 3, you can actually have 3 windows running all at once. Here's an example of how it looks when you open YouTube, text messages, and the alarm apps. Samsung has partnered with favorite apps such as YouTube, TikTok, Netflix, Snapchat, and many more to make apps easier to use on the foldable devices. The 3 camera lenses on the back of the phone contain a 12 megapixel wide, ultra wide, and telephoto. Now let's talk durability of this phone. This is a big issue as the phone has moving parts and a flexible screen. The Z Fold 3 consists of 3 pieces, 2 screens, and the hinge. The screens are protected with waterproof tape on the inside, but with the hinge, they use corrosion-resistant material and a long-lasting grease to protect the hinge from rusting or corroding. To protect the chip, they used rubber and CIPG to protect critical parts of the phone from water damage, making the phone water resistance level IPX8. The main screen uses a new protective film to increase durability of the flexible display by 80%. The outer layer uses Gorilla Glass Victus and an aluminum frame Samsung calls Armor Aluminum. Now let's talk about the S Pen. Creating a display that would work for the Z Fold took years of studying according to Samsung. They came to a conclusion where there are 2 digitizers inside the phone, one on each side, that communicate with each other to be able to create one seamless screen. There is an S Pen specifically designed for the Z Fold. You can't use a standard S Pen from the Note series as the points are too hard for the screen. The Z Fold's S Pen includes shock absorption to create a softer and smoother writing experience. Okay, here are my final thoughts on the Z Fold 3, starting with the front screen. I hate the thickness of the bezels, and the screen feels too narrow. It feels like for years, Samsung has been trying to revolutionize the thinness of the bezels on the phones and challenging them. Now, with this, it just feels like they took huge steps back. I understand that they put a lot of effort into the main screen. However, you're not going to be in tablet mode all the time with this phone. If they had just shrunken the bezels down, it would have felt way more comfortable if you were trying to make phone calls or send a quick text. Next, the camera on the main screen has too low of megapixels. If you are someone on the go running your business on your phone and you do a lot of Zoom calls or team meetings, this is not going to cut it for you. It's not going to be the best quality. Next thing is the pixels covering the camera. Now, like I said, I appreciate Samsung for trying this, and I can see this being improved for future phones to come. In fact, we might even see this on the next Galaxy series. But like I said before, now that I know that there is a difference, I would be constantly looking for it and seeing what it looked like in all of my apps. I also still question the durability. Although they've done a redesign with their strongest materials, I'm still a clumsy person. I can't tell you how many times I've dropped my Note 10. Now, protecting the front screen, that's no problem. But if I'm in tablet mode and I drop it, I 100% believe it's game over for me. This next one pisses me off, which is the S Pen coming separately. If you have to design a whole new pen specifically for a phone, at least build it into the phone. I can see a lot of Samsung Note users just rolling their eyes right now, since we had our upgrade be postponed for another year, hoping that maybe this phone could be a potential upgrade, knowing there were rumors for a built-in S Pen. Now to know that if you wanted to have the S Pen with you, you'd have to keep it in your pocket or in your purse, or even buy the silicone case that has the holder built in and make the phone even bulkier, just makes it worse. And the fact that you have to charge it separately is just a no-go for me. Adding on to the S Pen, I feel like knowing this is a feature now, this makes this a better directed phone for left-handed users. And I might be completely wrong on this, being a right-handed person, but I'm also a very small person. For me to be able to hold this phone, it's a lot in my hands. So if I was wanting to write notes comfortably, I'd have to hold it with my hands on the front screen. But I don't want my front screen to be dirty because of that. So if I wanted to be able to write comfortably, feeling like I had a good handle on the phone, I would either have to hold it like so, hovering underneath the camera lens. That just doesn't feel right. And yet, with all these negative thoughts that I have on the phone, I still go to grab it. The tablet mode on the screen for watching YouTube is absolutely beautiful. It's a whole other experience. Productivity is amazing. I thought when I was able to use 2 apps at the same time on my Note 10 was the best thing ever. But now, knowing on this guy that I can have 3 apps going at a time, I wish I had that before. There would be times where having a 3rd app available on the Note would be so much easier. I'd be able to get so much more done. Now that it's possible, it really makes me consider just trying to be extra careful. All right, let's be honest here. This phone is not going to be for everybody. However, with the new redesign, it does allow everybody, if they wanted to try something new. According to sammobile.com, the pre-orders of the Samsung Z Fold 3 and Z Flip 3 alone smashed the record of sales from the previous generation. What I want to know from that is which phone had the most pre-orders, and then also what were the sales of the previous generation that they're comparing this to. Sam Mobile also states that Samsung predicts to sell 5.2 million units of this new 3rd generation this year. Okay, so this could be it. This could be the phone that changes the game. So what do you think? Are you gonna upgrade to the phone, or are you gonna stick with just one screen?